We are live on Facebook now, Amrita and Sonia. Let's see who all are there on Facebook. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Waiting for people to come on. I'm checking on.
Yeah, I think they will come. We are slightly early.
Yes.
This is our episode 19, by the way. We finished so many
Wow,
episodes.
amazing, amazing, amazing. I saw some of your episodes are absolutely fabulous when you got those,
Yeah.
the doctor and everybody has been such an interesting contribution to the show. And
Thank you.
anybody who's interested in children has learned so much from them, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
And
just
I
been
think
so
that's the purpose
spectacular
of the
because
show.
yeah,
We're
so it
going
has
to
just been
broadcast
wonderful.
also at the same time.
Sorry.
I'm broadcasting so that people come into this platform also right now.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
People have started coming in. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome all of you to the ABCD show.
Hi, Renuka.
Hi, Nazneen. Subhalakshmi, hello.
We would love it if you put down where you are from.
And you can also add whether you're a teacher, you're a principal, you're a coordinator, you're a parent.
Yeah.
Let us know more about you. Hi, Divya.
And it's lovely to see the same names.
Yes. Divya from Ahmedabad. Hi, Divya.
So Subhalakshmi is
Pawar
from
Public
Pawar
School.
Public
Okay.
School.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Nazneen, you're attending this for the second time. Wonderful.
From Cochin. Nice.
Okay, Debu from Bahrain. Oh, wonderful.
Debo, did you come earlier as well? Because I think the name is familiar. Dr. Seema, hello.
I love that all these boundaries have sort of melted. So people from Bahrain
So
can
true.
come, people from Cochin can be here. This is so wonderful.
Yes. The world is the limit now.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yes.
Anjana
the
from
world
Surat,
is your
hello.
oyster.
Yes. Isha.
Okay, MSB Educational Institute, Godhra, Gujarat. Tasneem. Hello.
Divya, you can also email us about your workshops that you conduct. We'll be happy to look into that as well.
Right, anybody who wants to be on our show and feels they can add value to everybody else, please do write to us.
The
Okay, we have
ABCD show 6
Amani,
at
who is an
gmail.com.
IBPYP coordinator from Saudi Arabia. Oh, how wonderful.
Wow.
Wow.
Hi, Priyanka.
Hi, Priyanka. Glad from Mumbai. Seema Chaudhary from Ahmedabad.
Yes, Divya, please do write to us and tell us what you do. And if you can contribute to our platform, it will be so wonderful to have any of you over here with us.
Note down the email address. It's the abcdshow6@gmail.com. Yes,
Okay, we have
someone from
Stephanie
Philippines
from the
also.
Philippines.
Nice.
So what do you do, Stephanie? Are you an educator from the Philippines? Oh, Stephanie is a drama teacher.
Oh, how nice.
That's lovely.
I'm writing down our email address.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
Cebu.
She's from Cebu International School. Nice.
Philippines,
Anjana,
yeah.
we've already done a workshop for phonics. We did the letter 9 workshop with Hemangini Babla. Please do look at our previous workshops that have been done.
You can go to YouTube and you can see all our workshops that we have done so far. Please like our page, comment also. We'd be happy to know from you all.
And subscribe.
Any more
Don't forget to
suggestions?
subscribe.
Yes.
Don't forget to
Yes.
share. Let's spread the goodness around. Hi, Pooja.
Yes,
Hi,
very nice.
Pooja.
And Divya says, happy Karwa Chauth and happy Karwa Chauth to everybody over here. So I love,
That's why Amrita's dressed all up in
Happy
a sari
Karwa
today.
I love the commitment, it's Karwa Chauth or
Yeah.
it's a festival, but people are so interested in enhancing their own learning that they're all over here with us. And it's wonderful.
Right.
Oh, Subbalakshmi is a dancer also. And
Nice.
Wow.
she does drama with children. How wonderful. I'm sure we have a lot of talented people here.
Of course, and from all over the world. So
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes. So sweet.
House.
Thank you, Minal.
I'm so happy you planned yourself so well. My puja will happen after this.
Who's having Karwa Chauth party today? Those were the days, I think. Now all Zoom parties,
Now we
right?
are having a Zoom get together.
Hmm. Should we start, Amrita? It's already past 4.
Yes. Let me. Just.
No, we can't see Amrita.
No.
Yeah.
Just one moment. Hello, I'm Amrita Rajpan. I've been teaching for 22 years, but I've been learning my whole life. And that's why I have a company called Edu Learn Grow. I'm a sports nutritionist. I'm an avid traveler. And I'm an active Rotarian. I'm also the territory head for the Early Childhood Association Mumbai. I'm founder EduLearn Grow and co-founder the ABCD Show.
Hi, I'm Bela Kotwani, also known as Big B. Big for the size of my heart and B for Bela. A fun-loving person with a great sense of humor and a passionate pickleball player. National Core Committee member of Early Childhood Association, founder and principal of Cosmic Kids International, co-founder Puppet Maestros, and co-founder The ABCD Show. The ABCD Show is a show where everything concerned with children is addressed.
We're going to get in eminent experts whose opinions matter. We're going to introduce you to new products. We're going to have theories unfold into practice. We'll discuss mental health and wellness. We'll look at best practices. We'll give you parenting tips and we'll explore tools and strategies to help you teach
So,
effectively.
if you are a preschool coordinator, parent, teacher, or anyone who has anything to do with children, this show is for you.
So don't forget to like our page to know more about our upcoming events. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the ABCD show. As usual, we are very, very happy to have all of you here. And as I mentioned earlier, today is a festive day, and many of you must be celebrating Karwa Chauth, but many of you are over here wanting to enhance your own learning, looking at what is new, and that is really creditable. So, thanks again for being here. And now, Sonia, it's time to thank you for being here because, when I think of drama, it's synonymous with Sonia. So for people who don't know Sonia, Sonia has been in this field for the past 27 years. She started
Wow.
her career in advertising, but she's been with Helen O'Grady Academy for more than 15 years as a teacher, as a trainer, as a franchise owner. And she's sort of lived with this, with being with drama in her everyday life. So she's taught speech and drama to thousands of children and also thousands of teachers. And her specialty is training. She's conducted various training programs such as storytelling, communication skills, spoken English, creative thinking workshops. She's done work for corporates, for teachers, for children. She's really been doing this since a long time and she's an expert. So Sonia has also done a lot of voluntary work. So she's worked with the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai and she's trained their teachers in functional English through an NGO. And right now she's working on a online drama program for children. So it's wonderful having you here, Sonia.
Welcome, Sonia, to the ABCD
Thank you.
show.
Another thing is
Thank
Sonia
you so much.
and I
It's
have
lovely to
worked
be here.
together. Sonia, we have worked together on a lot of projects and had great fun also.
True. That's the best part of working, right? You have fun. You don't feel you're working because it's just so much fun.
Yes. And so we've had a lot of fun working on our projects and on our training programs together. So it's wonderful to have you back on our show and being with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sonia, we're going to start with some questions. And the first question
Sure.
is, you said you specialize in creative drama. And
Yeah.
I thought drama was just drama. But are there different types of drama when we're talking about little children?
Yeah,
So can you tell us more
Yes,
about creative
absolutely.
drama?
sure. So creative drama is it's a more free-flowing drama. It's not, of course, there is structure to it. As a teacher, when you go in, you know what you're going to be teaching the children at that point, but it flows more. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a drama teacher. I'm going to be using a lot of my hands. That's a part of, the whole drama program. So it's used for educational purposes where we give situations to children. We make them think on their own. We don't guide them in telling them this is how you should react when something goes wrong or right. we allow them to express themselves. So the kids have the freedom to express themselves, to do what they think is right. And there is no right, there's no wrong. Oh, this is not how you're supposed to do it. So creative drama allows the child's creativity to be honed, to be, we encourage them to just be themselves. So that's what we do. And we have various things that we do along in creative drama. The different aspects of it, whether it's a pantomime, whether it's a dialogue, whether it is an improvisation or a role play. So different things come into the drama, but it's the child who actually takes this forward. We are just, as teachers, one of the most important things we have to do is to just steer them a little bit, and you let them go, and you see how beautifully they just blossom, they bloom, they grow, and they love drama classes because, you know, we are all have to be dressed up like a Christmas tree, or like always dressed up for Karwa Chauth, like what we are today. But it's because a drama teacher has to be full of drama. You know, she has to be vibrant. She has to be, of course, have a loud voice, and be colorful in everything that she does. So that's what attracts the children to say, I can do this, which I can't do in my regular school. I have to sit down, I have to write my things, I have to tell the teacher the way she tells me to say certain things, I have to say it. But in speech and drama, I can be myself. Yeah, so that's.
So Sonia, you also
Okay, so-
mentioned something about dialogue being used. So I wanted to understand
Yes.
from you, with smaller children, how does dialogue work? Because they're not able to speak at that moment so clearly. So how do you go about with little children?
Absolutely. So, like a drama class, the first 2, 3, maybe 4 classes, you would have to kind of handhold them. Okay. And you'll set down certain things. Okay. Now you are going to be working in pairs. So A and B. So Amrita, can you be my partner for this? I just want to show how we would do it with the children. So I am A and Amrita is B. And we ask the children to have a dialogue. It's a free flowing thing. Now in creative drama, one of the things that children do is their vocabulary improves, their language skills improve, their confidence improves, because we are allowing them to express themselves. We are not saying, oh no, this is wrong or this is incorrect, because then they can do what they want to do. And then we as teachers will just guide them and say, okay, what else? So they start thinking also laterally, they start thinking more creatively, say, oh wow, you mean I can do this? I'm allowed to do this? In 2 or 3 sessions, they get it. And then by the time you're in the 4th or 5th session, the classes are super fun for you as a teacher and super fun for the children, because they now they're looking forward to expressing themselves and, Miss, I want to do this. So coming back to dialogue, supposing I am A and Amrita is my partner, we get time to work together as a pair, and we'll break them up into groups and say, okay, you'll have 5 minutes or 7 minutes, depending on how much time you have in your class. And the topic for today is birthday party. Okay, so it's my birthday and I'm inviting my friend for a birthday party. So I will say, Amrita, would you like to come to my birthday party?
Yes, of course.
And Amrita would say,
I thought I was
now,
supposed to
if
be
you're
the one.
working with
I already said yes.
Yes, absolutely. We would come, right? That's a natural thing a child would say. So thank you for that. Now, usually they would keep quiet. If they're like 3 years, 4 years, they would say yes. And then the teacher would have to prod them to say, okay, when do you think is the birthday party? So you ask B to ask her, when is the birthday party? Right? So then B will say, what Amrita you would say? You would ask me, when is the birthday party?
Okay. When is the birthday party, Sonia?
So now I am a child and my birthday for me is September 7th. Okay. So now we are in November, but I will relate to my birthday being in September. So they don't have that concept. So you have to say, okay, my birthday is tomorrow and we're going to pretend. So when we start our drama classes with children, we set certain rules, not rules. We just tell them that drama, what is drama? We ask them. What do you think is drama? Then they will say it's acting. So I said, okay, what is acting? So it's pretending. It is something which is not happening, but you're going to imagine, you're going to pretend that you are in that space right now. Okay, you're going to imagine, or you're going to pretend, or you're going to act that your birthday is tomorrow. So you're going to tell, so you're going to guide. As a teacher, my dialogue would be first, would you like to come to my birthday party? And she was going to say, yes, why not? Okay, and then she's going to ask, but when, sorry, when is the birthday party? So I have to think it's September. So then the teacher will say, no, tell her you're going to pretend it is tomorrow. So then she'll say, yes, oh, it's tomorrow.
Okay.
So my birthday party is tomorrow. So then she will typically will say, yes, okay.
Yes.
Then the teacher will have to prod them, because this is a little bit of prodding.
Okay. Yes. I'm
Okay,
coming.
bye. Okay, see you.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
as a
coming
teacher,
tomorrow.
would correct. But now, as a teacher, you would have to say it is tomorrow. But where will she have to go? What time will she have to be there? Right? So then we will say,
Prompt
what
them,
time?
basically.
Yes, you have to prompt them to ask them, when is the birthday party? Where is the birthday party? And what time can I come there? All right. And then she will say, then A will say, it is tomorrow in my house at 5 o'clock. So she say, okay. And then if the kids are
Okay.
smart, or and if the kids are whatever, they'll say, don't forget my present, okay?
Hmm.
And
That
two,
always goes with children.
always, please get me a present. And then those kids will say, yes, but what is the return gift?
Yes.
Yeah, the whole criteria for
Yeah.
children going to a birthday party is, what return gift will I get back? Right?
Yes.
So this is for your younger ones, the nursery, junior
Mm.
KG. When you do the same activity with senior KG towards the end of the first and second graders, you will do the same activity, and you will see how you don't really need to prompt them so much, because they are already ready with the birthday party that they want. So then you can introduce and say, if you want to have a birthday party just the way you want it, what type of a birthday party will you have? Right? And they can,
Sorry, I thought I was supposed to answer. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I went to the birthday party at Kidzania.
Yes, that's wonderful. So then you would say, okay, we'll go to Kidzania. So then they work together. So when they have grade 1 and grade 2, they will work together and say, okay, they want to go to Kidzania, or they want to have a magic show in the house, or they want to go to a hotel and have a party before this beautiful lockdown. We did all kinds of fun birthday parties for children. So then you encourage them to say, where will the party be? What time will it be? What will you do at the birthday party? Right? These are typical questions. Then they start thinking. It gives them a chance to say, okay, this is a situation. I have so many options. So the second time when they do something, they will do 2 more questions. The third time you do something different, they will then start understanding how it unfolds for them, and how magically after the 4th or 5th session, you as a teacher just tell them, I'm making you into groups. This is your topic. You have 5 minutes. And then the magic begins. And you call them in group wise, and just be prepared to be bowled over. Because these kids, they just are just so magical that you just look and say, oh my God, how did they think of something so spectacular? Because it's just, that's just them. So that's the beauty of your thing. Veda, I hope that was
Yes, yes, very much.
that answered your.
So that's what I understood. The prompting the
And
kids are
since
really
I'm a drama
important.
teacher, yes. And since I am a drama teacher, I do tend to talk a lot. So please.
No, you're
Oh no, we love to listen.
But Sonia,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you said right now got something to my mind. There are so many times we want to encourage imagination in children.
Yes.
And then when we ask them questions like, where do you want to have your birthday party? Or who do you want to call? Or what would you like to give as a return gift? Or what would you like to get? So sometimes it's nice to have the children think of all these things and use their imagination, develop imagination. not only by doing an activity, but by thinking about something which they would want for themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Absolutely.
sometimes you can't get it really, but
Yes.
you can still get it.
Absolutely. And you can pretend and say, okay, you know what, children, you've been to Kidzania, you've done this. Now, supposing I ask you to think completely different. Okay, this is for slightly older, maybe the grade 1 and grade 2 children, that you want to have a truly magical birthday party. Who would you like to invite for your birthday party? Right? And you never know what shows up, what they come up with. And they will say, you mean I can have the
Hmm.
birthday party exactly the way I want it? I said, yes. The cake the way you want it, the decorations the way you want it, as many people, because they want to call the whole class. After some time, the first
Yes.
few years, parents are very excited to call all the class. And after it becomes, say, okay, 5 kids are okay, or 10 children are more than enough from the class. But they want to include everybody. So it said, this is your birthday party, enjoy. What would you like to do? And you just have to just sit down and watch them, because really they are just so beautiful when they put out the imagination and you say, oh, that's a great idea. And then you use sometimes some classes, some ideas from one class into another, because you learn every day, you learn something new with the children, which you really, it is not in your, in your mind space, but because kids come from that space, you learn actually more than you're teaching the children in classes. That is what I have. I'm sure all teachers know that when you teach, you learn. So
True.
yeah.
True. So great. This dialogue was a really nice way of getting children to do drama. But you mentioned something about improvisation.
That's true.
So what do you mean by
Yes,
improvisation, and how
yes.
can we do it for children?
So thank you so much. So improvisation is something which actually musicians do a lot, right? So they don't have any practiced thing. They just start something, and then somebody else plays something else, and then they call it a jam session. So what is that? That is just improvisation. So again, because we are the teachers and we are guiding the children, it has to be somewhere under our control to see what we want the children to do. So improvisations are, it's a free flowing activity. Here they're not in pairs, but they're all working in a group or in a room together. In this case, their own homes if they're doing it on Zoom. We'll ask them to say, pretend that they have a pet dog or a pet cat. Now, some will have, some will not have, but we are doing drama, right? So we'll remind them to say that, you know what, this is a pretend class. So whether you have a cat or a dog, it doesn't matter. You can have a hamster, it doesn't matter. When some will tell me, I'm scared of dogs or whatever. See, that's okay. Right now, you're just pretending. Sorry, you're pretending. So imagine, okay, and this dog, visualize what kind of a dog would you like to have. And some kids want to have a dog, but they can't for whatever reasons. So what would this dog be? Okay, so think about him. So then the children will think, each of them will have a different dog in their mind. Some will have a puppy, some will have a full grown Alsatian, or a Doberman, or a, if they like the 101 Dalmatians, they would have a Dalmatian. So that dog is completely up to them. Okay, see, now this dog loves to play hide and seek, right? And you have to go searching for this dog in your house. So how would you do that? All right. So your dog's name is Rio. Okay, I'm going to take your dog's name, and or Tommy, or whatever his name is,
Anything.
and you go looking for the dog, and then yeah, and then you as a teacher goes along with them looking for your dog, because then you are the teacher, so you also have a dog that you are searching for, and they follow you and they go looking around. Where are you? Come outside, I want to play with you. Why are you hiding? And then they will, if the younger ones, they will imitate your dialogues, right? Which is a natural thing to do. So when you go as a teacher, be prepared with 4, 5, 6 sentences. Okay, come on, I want to play with you. I'm missing you. Let's go for a walk. I'll take you to the park. I know you enjoy it. Why are you hiding? And then when you're hiding, then you go high and you go low and you go under the table, you go behind the chair. You do all these activities. So the kids also start saying, oh, I can do this. I mean, wow, I can actually, and some of them will want to slither on the ground because they think that their dog is hiding under the table or under the cupboard. So I can do that. And they just love doing it. And then what happens with this activity of improvisation is the language skill develops because they're coming up with their own sentences. Sometimes they will follow you and copy your sentences, which is fine, as long as they're speaking. So they're acting at the same time, they're talking at the same time. So their mind is doing so many things at the same time. Plus, they are looking for that dog. All right. Then, now this is the beauty of an improvisation. After like looking high and low for a minute or so, and there's lots of fun and chaos. In a physical classroom, it's great fun. And after you found the dog, now you say, okay, now, and okay. So one of the things we do as a disciplinarian thing, so the children know when to stop, when to wait for the next set of instructions. We either have a tambourine in our hand or we clap our hands twice, or say, when I clap my hands, then you have to stop. Okay, or if I say freeze, you have to freeze. Okay, so then no, this is it. So then now you have found the dog. So when I say freeze, you have found the dog. All right. So I said, okay, now you found the dog, so freeze. And they freeze. Now I give them the second set of instructions. Now you found the dog. Now, how are you going to react to your dog who was hiding from you? Right? Now, this is the key to seeing how the child is going to react to that dog. So some will go and hug the dog and say, I missed you, where are you? Some will say, you are hiding, fachag. They will give one, get upset with them. Somebody will say, bad doggy, you were not listening to me. So different children will have different reactions. Are they right? Are they wrong? Are you allowed to say anything to them? No, because this is how they are going to react to their dog. Right? Yes. Now, if
But
they
even
want
if
to,
seeing the
sometimes
dog, you won't
have
react
kids who
to it?
would be- So I was coming to that. Thank you for that. If the child was to hit the dog, you have to also understand the child is mimicking. The child is mimicking what's happening in his surrounding, right? And say, this dog is fun. You love him, right? And would it be a good idea to hit him? So he would say no, but somewhere he knows that when he makes a mistake and something happens to him, he gets hit. So before correcting that, we need to zoom out a little bit more before saying, no, don't hit. Because we don't know why he's reacting to a particular situation, right? So that's important. And say, you know what? I think for this one, let us all just give our dogs a big hug and kiss. But thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is where in creative drama, we would first allow them to do whatever they want to do. And then say, he's a dog and he's your favorite dog and he's your best friend. Would it be a good idea to hit him? And then he'll say, yeah, no. So can we go and give a big huggy to our dogs and kiss him and say, come on, let's go for a walk. Then immediately they'll get that, there are other options. There are other ways of
Responding.
right? So that's tradition, is to do things which are stainless.
Right. Is there some network issue, Amrita?
I'm not able to see Sonia. I think she's frozen.
Yeah, she's frozen, I think. Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, you're back.
Is here? Okay.
Yeah.
I can see you
You're
girls.
frozen for a
I can
minute.
see you girls. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about this.
In proper drama pose, you're frozen.
Yeah. So fully.
So,
Yeah. So that was that. Yeah.
Sonia,
Sonia, I wanted to understand from you
Yes. Huh.
that when you're telling me that you have this dramatics class with the children, of course, the kids get very excited and they're
Yes.
going out of hand sometimes.
Yes.
So do you have some set ground rules for them before you start your program?
Absolutely. As in any class, the first thing you're, as a teacher, you would do with your students is set ground rules. Okay. And one of them is that you have to be, tell them that we're going to have a lot of fun. However, there are certain rules. So the disciplinary thing, like if you have a tambourine or a maracas or something like that, when I do this, I clap my hands twice, they're going to freeze. stop whatever you're doing, whichever pose you are in, you're going to pause, listen to the next set of instructions, and then you're going to do this. All right. So that's how they understand this. And kids are very smart. They just get it. Okay. And if they don't
Some
get it
kids can't wait for their turn. They want
I
to
know.
finish it. You know how this is my turn. I want to finish it. Right now.
Absolutely, which is a good thing, because when they say, but this person is performing, so now it's their time to perform. So you guys going to be in the audience, imagine eating imaginary popcorn and watching the show. Let them perform. So they realize that when it's my turn, I am going to get the respect as a speaker. So I need to respect them as a speaker. And you as a teacher have to make sure that you are paying attention to the dialogues happening over there. Also, keep in mind that the kids over here, don't get too rough. So the thing is, because in our classroom there are 25, 30 kids, it does become a little
Difficult.
to handle them. So then to have 2 teachers in a classroom would really be a good idea. If you have around 10 or 12 kids in a classroom, then it's really much easier to do the disciplinary part of it. But I know I went to schools where we had 25, 30. I had 27 kids in a classroom, of which 22 were boys, grade
Oh my
2.
God.
Yes, thank you. That was like, oh my God, indeed. And I was, then finally I said, no, I need to have one more teacher to help me, because, the boys can just go.
Yes.
All your, your disciplinary things, you would need to be a little more strict at that point of time, which is not the idea of a drama class. So they get it after some time. They do get it, but if you have more number of students, having another teacher coming in and helping them would be great. So you would have
ideal
your
number of students is how
times.
much? How many students is the ideal number of students?
15 is good. 10 to 15. Because if you have too many, then you will not be able to give them too much attention. But if you have 2 teachers, then it's much easier to do that. You can have a good drama class of 40, 50 kids, but if you want to give them your best, you want to get the best from them, because in each class, you want to finish a certain activity. If you have larger number of students, then those kids may not be able to come and do their role play, or they will not be able to come and do what they are supposed to do, and then it gets carried forward to the next class, and then that's just not ideal.
They lose the interest actually after that.
Yeah. I'm waiting
because
so
then
long for
I
their
had a
turn.
chance, because if it's my turn and then I have to do it next week, then the moment is gone, the feeling is over, the whole enthusiasm is gone,
Yeah.
because now something new and exciting is coming.
Right.
So yeah.
True, I agree.
So yeah, you put some disciplinary things into place.
Sonia, getting back to your previous thing of when you mentioned about a child actually lives through those experiences, actually exhibits those experiences that he's already gone through. So he wants to hate or whatever.
Yes.
I had this child in my class. This was many, many years back. And there was this child, and we had, he was playing with the doctor's set. And he wanted to burn the patient, the doll, which was supposed to be his patient, and he was the doctor, and he wanted to burn the patient. And we were wondering why something like this could happen, and why would a doctor want to burn his patient? And then we got to know that his mother was a doctor, and his mother used to leave him and go out to look after her patients. So he decided if there was no patient, his mother would not need to go. So doctors don't need to work, then they would be back home with their children. So, I mean, it's very important to go into why is the child behaving the way he is behaving instead of responding. And I think that was very,
Absolutely.
very, when you said that you can't really sit over there and say, don't do this and don't do that.
Right.
Because we don't know what is happening in their life. And they're only portraying.
Absolutely. And we don't know. Absolutely. And in fact, through the drama classes, you know exactly what's happening in that child's home environment.
Correct.
Right? Where is he coming from? What is he doing? What is his background? What is he thinking? What are his family putting onto him? Then you understand those children better. And I'm sure each one of us, when we go to our class, within the first or second class, you know your children. You know who is what, how he is, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses,
Mm.
you know, what kind of a family background they come from. You know that that's just something you know, right? So, and
Correct.
then you start working on those children, giving them different options, different alternatives, saying that you have a choice, beta, right? You don't have to do this. This is not always the right thing to do. Why don't you explore something else? And then you'll see, I'm telling you, kids by the end of the year, when they're with us for a year, by the end of the year, they're totally different children.
Yeah.
And that gives us the most pleasure. That
Yeah.
is something which I don't think any amount of money or anything will give us as much joy as seeing your students coming on stage, performing and doing things which they just blow your mind, and they say, "Ay, hi, mera bacha." You know, you just feel so proud of them.
Yeah. So it really works with behavior, modifying behavior, children, giving them alternatives.
Yes,
Wonderful.
yes.
So, Sonia, do you have any games that we can play with children which involve drama?
Oh, lots of games. Yeah, totally. So drama, like I said, is full body. You know, you need to take your entire body and use every part of your body. So we have there are many games, that millions actually, really different games that you can play. And I'm going to talk to you about one game, and I'm going to try and see if I can show you variations of how this works. Okay. So this is a story for little kids. Your nursery kids can do it, your junior KG kids can do it, your senior KG kids can do it. And you talk to them, you've taught them about body parts, right? Your nose and eyes and ears. So they know simple things, hands, legs. So then you say, okay, now I, the teacher, I'm an alien and I've come onto this planet. And you make each child or each group of kids, depending again on how many number of students you have, whether it's one or two kids, you are going to be the nose, you are going to be the eyes, you're going to be the ears, you're going to be the mouth, you're going to be the tongue. Okay, you're going to talk about this. Okay, then you're going to say, what does the tongue do? What does the nose do? So the kids know, then they know this. You prep them up obviously before that. In school they've taught about it. So I have come to Earth. I'm an alien, and I might wear one nice, cute little alien antenna hairband and go to class that day. And say, this alien does not understand human beings. Okay, and he sees this beautiful being, but he says, "What is this thing on his thing? I don't like this. I want to remove the nose and throw it out. I don't want it." Right? And so the kids who become a nose have to justify or tell me, no, you can't take me away or you can't throw me out. So the alien will say, why not? What do you do? What is so important about you? Then the kids will say, with the nose, I can breathe. I said, okay, what else does the nose do? It can smell. Smell, what does that mean? You can smell roses, you can smell chocolate cake. Then they come up with, what do you like to smell? And then, what do you not like to smell? Is there something which is not nice also? So let the kids come up with their own ideas of, I don't like this smell or I don't like that smell. Now, for me, personally, I love the smell of when ghee is made at home. Whereas my child runs away when the ghee is made at home. I don't like that smell, right? So everybody asks the kids, what do you like? What will your nose smell? So he'd say, I will like this or I will like that. Then you say, okay. And this, I don't know, what is this? I don't think I'll want this. I'm going to keep it away. So the kids who become the ears come and say, no, you can't take us away. And you say, why? What do you do? And then you get them to express. What do yours do? Of course, we hear. What do you hear with your ears? So you hear voices, you can hear songs, you can hear music, right? And then you ask them, what kind of music do you like? What kind of sounds do you like? Right? And if you're a girl, then you can wear pretty earrings, right? So the ears can do many other things also. So you encourage them to doing this. Okay. Also nose, when you can also say, if somebody is wearing specs and they don't have a nose, then what will they do? Right? So then you get them to think what you do with it, and think of different ways of saying, what kind of music do you like? What do you not like to listen to? So then they will tell you, I don't like my mother shouting at me. I don't like loud noises. Then you start getting to know, it's so much of fun, but then you know your child so much more. So it's not just a fun class for them, but for
Right.
you as a teacher, you are basically able to gauge the child and know where you can put more emphasis on the child, where you can encourage him to do more and come out of that space where he might think, I can't speak, I can't do this. And this is one platform where he can do whatever he wants to. He or she can do whatever he wants to do. Right? So then
Wow, I
you
love
talk
this.
about the eyes. Thank you. And then you take the eyes.
Very
Think,
nice.
okay, what are these eyes? I don't want this. Say, oh no, eyes are very important. Say, why? Why are they important? What do they do? Then you can talk about what you can do with your eyes. You can see things. You can, and I said, and you can ask questions. Are eyes of the same shape and color, or do they have different shapes and colors? Then the child will start thinking, oh yeah, they have different colors, they're different shapes. I can see things. So what do you like to see? Again, the same thing activity will happen with that. Then you can talk about
Hmm.
your tongue. Okay, I don't want this is a horrible thing. Say, no, it's very important. You can taste things with your tongue. When you can have something nice. So what do you like to eat? Then they will say, okay, I like ice cream or cake or gulab jamun or pav bhaji, whatever it is that they want. So with each organ, you have so much to explore, right? So even if you do the same activity today and do the same activity tomorrow, you'll have more things to add to it, and they will say, wow, great. Okay. So if you're doing the same activity, I'm just going to take a little time to explain to you the variation if you do it with the grade 1 and grade 2 children. So the face, head, nose, and things is good for your nursery and your junior KG kids, right? Um, the second one is when they know other body parts. You have your arms, you have your legs, and then sometimes when you have a stomach, in your grade 2 and 3, they'll talk about stomach and your liver and your lungs. And then you do this activity and say, I don't think I want the heart. Then the heart will say, no, heart is very important. So why is heart very important? Because it pumps blood, it's very important for the body. Then you can say, okay, what does the liver do? As you grow in the older classes, you can use that. So you're teaching them and they're learning it, and it's so much more fun for them. And I can guarantee you, they will always remember this.
Hmm.
They will never forget
Definitely.
what the job of each of the organs do, because you as a teacher are adding so much more value to just I can hear and I can smell, right? So that's the variation you do with them. And when you grow, of course, to much older kids, you can go even further with getting more detailed about your lungs, and you can go about your heart, and you can be the auricle and the ventricle and the left auricle and the left ventricle, and how each part of your body is important. So it goes in such depth, because see, that's the beauty of drama, the beauty of creative drama or any kind of drama is what I do with my junior KG kids, I can do the same with my 7th and 8th graders, but my expectation from them is different, and their contribution to the class is different, right? So that's the fun part. I hope I have
Very nice. I
answered
really
this
loved it.
question.
You can even play this like a running and catching
Thank
kind
you
of
so
game
much.
also, na? Go and catch the nose, make them wear placards or something.
Totally.
And a mouse.
Fantastic.
And have them go
Absolutely.
catch the child, so it becomes more fun.
And give
More
something,
physically.
yeah. Yeah. Yes. And lips, different shapes, different colors, eyes, cheeks. You can go with teeth. You can go with anything and everything. And then the more you add to it, the more they will say, my God. And you know what will happen with that? Then you tell them, you know how beautiful you all are because you have all these features in you.
Nice.
And then the kids start thinking that, wow, I'm so beautiful. Every part of my body is so important. And I should not ignore them. So if it's my teeth, I must brush my teeth. If it's my face, I must wash my face. I must take a bath because my body, my organs, my thing is so beautiful. They're invaluable. And I can't do without any one of them. So I have to learn to love myself. And that, and there's
Wow, I loved it.
so much you can do with it.
Lovely.
Sorry, I
Awesome.
get carried away. I just get too carried away.
No, really good. You shared that point of loving yourself. I love that idea also. Very good.
Yes.
And Sonia, you were mentioning about some other game you had with Puppet. What was that game you were mentioning about the other day?
Oh yeah. So so what we do is, again, it's a full body thing, and it's like an activity you do with the children. So what you do is you tell them that you're all sitting on the ground, okay, and there is a very naughty string which has come and tied up on top of your head, and that string is slowly picking you up. You slowly will get up. Okay, now when you're doing this in a classroom environment, I always start off slow, because if you make them do fast, then there's a complete chaos in class.
Chaos.
So slowly, I'm going to count up to 5, and from the sitting position, slowly 1, 2, you're going to stand up, and go up to your toes, because this string is pulling you, and you're going up. Now this string is very naughty. It's come to your ear, and it's pulling you slowly, and you go to the end of one room. Okay, now this string is very naughty. It's gone to the back of your shoulder, left shoulder, and it's pulling you, so you go back. Okay, and do this in slow motion, not fast, because then you need to make sure that the kids are building it up. Then you use, now it's gone to your elbow, and it's lifting, and it's pulling you. Okay, so you do different parts of your body, and now it's gone to your nose. It's pulling you, going towards your nose. It's coming over here. And then this part the kids love the most. It's gone to your bumsies, and they're pulling you from your bum. So then you're going
cute.
back, and you jiggle your bum. You wriggle and
So
wiggle your bums,
cute.
and then you take again different parts of your body. It's gone onto your arm, it's gone on your fingers, it's gone on your pinky finger, and it's taking you here. It could go to the back of your head. Then so you're going forward, backward, sideways, up, down. So use different parts of your body. And if you're doing a chin, then the chin is going up. Then it's doing a throat, then it's going here, or it's going from your any part of, on your middle of your back. Okay, it's just wrapped around your waist, and it's pulling you back. Then you say things like, so you different parts of your body, your eyes, your head, your forehead. You can be over here, your cheeks. It's going here. It's going to your left cheek. You can do different things, and then you can do your this side of the body and that side of the body, and your thighs and your knees. It's pulling you from your knees. So then, how will you walk with your knees are going forward, your body is going behind? So it's comical, and they just get into peals of laughter doing this. And then you tell them to say, okay, on the floor. Now they've taken your toe, and your toe is lifted up. So you're on the floor on your back, and only your leg is going up with your left toe is going up. And then you say, okay, now you have to all stand up. And this little string, very naughty string, I don't know what to do with it. It's gone round and round you. So you make the kids go round and round, and they all flop down to the end at the end to culminate the
So cute.
class.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
What a fun
they just love
activity.
it.
Yeah, kids are going to have a blast.
Katputri, thing.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Then you can do both hands. You can say, now this
There are two
string has got
strings.
2. Thank you for that. Has got 2 friends. So your one hand is going and one. Yeah. And then you can do that. Your one leg is going here, one leg is going there. They just have so much fun with it. So yeah, you can do that.
I'm just
Then they
seeing the
become
good
like
learning
puppets,
that
and they
is
can
happening.
become whatever.
What
But
we
the-
should be
thank you.
happening. Yeah, please continue.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that happens over here is that there are no books, there's no writing work, there is no reading material. It's all their thought, their words, their vocabulary, and your love. Your teacher has to love the children and love the job that she's doing. And then this class is going to be like a super successful class for both. If you as a teacher have enjoyed the class, you know that the kids have enjoyed the class. I mean, we all know that is your first sign of whether your class has gone well, is how much fun have you had as a teacher. Yeah.
Totally agree with this.
Now, and I can see the amount of things that were learned, the coordination, your body parts, the uses of your body. So you're linking everything to academics again.
Absolutely. Everything is connected.
Your physical development, your cognitive development, your social emotional development, language development, seeing all the domains of development also,
Absolutely.
I think Meenal is sharing a very good idea. She's saying we can also make them aware of good touch and bad touch. So I like that idea as well.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yes. But you'll do that in your classrooms also, and you all can use that. See, again, as a drama teacher,
Yes.
when you want to introduce this is a great way of doing that. You know, and put some song and dance and make some movement, and of course, drama also involves a lot
Yes.
of movement in that. Also, for example, I'm going to give you one more example, if I may. It's like ask a child to pour a glass of water. Okay, so typically what they will do, they will pour water and they will drink it, and it's got suspended in the air. So you have to tell the children, you need to imagine that there's a platform here, or you can open the fridge, take out the bottle of water, close the fridge door, go to the platform, take a cup, open the lid, pour it out, put it back on the platform, put the lid back from wherever it is, and then drink your water. So when you are doing this in a slow, deliberate movement, the kids will start understanding spatial distancing also as to how actually something can, in my mind, if I'm creating something, this gives me an opportunity to clearly see it in front of me. Okay, like I said, it's not in the first class or the second class, but the more they come to your drama classes, the more they come and do this, the more they become aware of it. The more they realize that there are many aspects to drama, not just think, I have to be aware of where am I placing the glass? Where am I keeping the cup? Now I've closed the thing. Have I opened the fridge and putting it back over there? Have I traveled that distance to go into the fridge and come back over here? So slowly, as you do this, with older kids, you will do this. With the younger kids, you will tell them, okay, that's fine. So again, depending on age groups, depending on what age you're talking to kids, it also helps with all these things. And that's also a part of education, because it helps them to develop something. When they're drawing something or they're visualizing something, that it becomes clear for them that there are many components of the drama that they can actually use in their other activities as well.
This is actually building up on mindfulness also.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Becoming aware of yourself,
Totally.
your body, your surroundings, what you're doing, how you're doing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Everything is mindful, because then you're mindfully doing this. Of course, there's a lot of fun and lots of excitement, and the fun element we can't take away from it because we don't want to. That's not our objective. But somewhere we can tell them to, next time when we do this, why don't you think about this also? So somewhere there are also think that, yeah, I will use that as well. So yeah.
So I want to see if there are any questions. Yeah, this was really wonderful. But let's see if we have any questions.
If anybody's got any questions, please put in the question answer box. We can't read chats for the questions. Would request you to please post them in the question answer box.
Renuka says, I infuse a lot of humor in my online class. It's a great stress reliever. And seeing them laugh at a teacher's antics of pretending not to know works very well. And she teaches a junior KG class of years. How wonderful.
That's and then when you laugh and they feel, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake, and they get little peals of laughter, and they just love it so much, so that's wonderful. So, yeah.
Okay, there is one question.
Any more questions?
Sayali Shah said, do you have any idea how to grab attention in a virtual class in a fun way? Can you give some ideas on how to grab attention?
Yeah, virtual classes, you give them some responsibility. Okay, and the best, it's when you're doing a class, that after Sonia, it's Amrita's turn. After Amrita, it's Bela's turn. Okay, so you have to be aware that, okay, it's my turn next. So you will be careful about when Sonia finishes her dialogue, she has to wait for Amrita, and Amrita has to wait for when is her cue, and when does she have to take over, right? So when I say, okay, I am going to end with the word magnificent, and then when I finish the word magnificent, then Amrita is going to start talking about something else, and that is her cue. So somewhere where you can have a continuity, so the kids are all aware of when is my turn going to come, oh, it's my turn now. And you can try these different things to see how that works as well.
And for the little children, instead of a word, maybe you could have an action.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Action. Right. You can do some funny thing, and
someone else.
Absolutely. And yeah, fun antics and humor. Keep your huge chunk of humor with you.
We have a question from, it says, how can we connect drama and rhymes?
Everything with your doing with your rhyming is drama only. So whichever nursery rhyme you take is rhyming, and it is fun. So you can take you can make up rhymes. You can just talk about anything. Yeah, you can do all kinds of things. Incy Spider, you can do. You can do
Yeah.
all your rhymes.
What I do with
All the
my
nursery
kids
rhymes
in,
are Jack and Jill went up the hill.
yeah. Yeah, you can act any of the rhymes out. In fact, I do these number rhymes with the children, especially when the five little monkeys swinging on the tree. One child becomes the crocodile,
Yes,
five
yes,
kids become the monkey, and they enact, and the crocodile comes
yes.
quietly and he eats one monkey away. So all those fun things you can do with your rhyme.
Absolutely. There is no limit. There is no restriction. There is no right and wrong over here. That's what I love about creative drama. Because as teachers, I mean, I can come and give you some ideas, but when you work with children and you know how your kids the best, right? So you know what will work with children, and of course, have fun, explore, because that's a great idea to make one child a crocodile, and he'll come and do some fun stuff over here. Then everybody will want to become a crocodile next time. So you make them make sure
Right.
that you'll give them different roles to doing that. So one of the things about going back to the you can't take me the body parts is, so when you as a teacher become the alien, you can get some other child to become an alien, right? And then
Right.
you have somebody else come and say this. So then what happens is different kids, then they come to know, oh, the nose does this, the tongue has this qualities. Then when you take
Right.
make turns with each of them, they actually by the end of it know each part so well that there is no way that they will get confused or they will not enjoy it. So just like you made your crocodile, you make one of the children an alien. As you
Yes.
progress in your classes, you can explore, have fun, enjoy yourself.
Any more questions? I can't see any questions.
I think everyone just loved all your examples. I can see
Yes.
all those in the chat.
So let me take
Thank
this
you, thank you.
opportunity. That age could be 2.5, okay? She's asking, can the 2.5-year-old child also be doing dramatics? I think so. A little bit of songs and rhymes we could
No,
enact.
but I think
Little bit of songs and
claim
rhymes.
that alien game can be modified for a
Yes.
2.5-year-old.
So yeah, see how some 2.5-year-old kids are really smart. They know many more things. So you go with your knowing about your child. Like I said, you know your kids the best. If they're 2.5, they know certain things. You play with them. Do that with them.
Yeah.
You can do colors. You can do colors of the rainbow. That I think in junior KG, senior in nursery, you teach them red, blue, green. If I take red away, then how will
Right.
you have? Then you'll have no apples in the house, in the world. You will not have anything which is red in color. If I take yellow, what will the sun be? What color will the sun be? If you're going to take colors as something, so you can use colors as a very beautiful, simple example which you can do for all age groups. And each age group, like I said, that their interpretation of colors, the way they will take that particular color will be different. From a 2.5-year-old to a nursery kid, to a junior KG, to a senior KG, to a first grader and second grader. Because first and second grader, they'll do, oh, red is blood, and they will want to they get all into different kind of things. And the younger ones will be rose and an apple, and it's all sweet for them at that point of time, right? But the older ones will have more ideas as what red means to them. So yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Isha's writing wonderful
So
session. She
just
would
be
like some
creative.
more. Yeah.
So I think Nazeen got her answer too.
Thank you.
Right. So we want to inform the audience that we want to have a masterclass with Sonia as well, which is going to be scheduled somewhere in January. We'll keep you posted about the same. Yeah, so stay tuned for that as well. And I'll take this opportunity to thank Sonia for being on the ABCD show today. Sonia, even I myself have learned so much. I love your idea of the body parts and how you
Thank
can
you.
teach the children. With the string was superb idea also, I would say. So there's a lot of takeaway for me as well. So thank you once again, Sonia, for being with us. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to also introduce to you the next speaker for the 11th of November. He is Lucky Suwarna. He's the founder director of Mind Ventures, Kids Education, co-founder in Art, and National Core Committee member of APA. And Azelia Hui, she's the director of Apple Blossom, and she's a nursery school, and she's also the co-founder of NARC. The topic they'll be doing is technology infused professional development for educators. So hope to see all of you there. And please do like our Facebook page. Please join our group on Facebook called the Thought Leaders Group. We would like all of you to come in there and share your ideas and experiences with everybody. And of course, like our YouTube channel too. Yes? Please subscribe
Thanks,
and like it. Thank
Sonia.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Thanks.
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.